So you just received a new fountain pen. Huzzah! If this is your first fountain pen, or maybe you stopped counting like 40 pens ago, well, I got some helpful steps that you can take to set yourself up for success and start out on the right foot with your shiny new fountain pen. I am Brian Goulet, co-founder here of the Goulet Pen Company, and I worked closely with our customer care team to put together this list of 5 things that you should always do after receiving a brand new fountain pen from us here at gouletpens.com. Now, I'm going to speak from our perspective here at Goulet Pens because obviously that's what I know the most, but most of this information will be broadly applicable to you for any new pen that you get, whether it's from us or not. So if you follow these 5 steps, it will help ensure that the pen that you've received physically in your hands matches your expectations and that you know the best way to start actually using it. Step 1, learn the basics. Now this is going to sound very simple, forgive me for that if it's oversimplified, but if you're relatively new to fountain pens, it's best to make sure that you at least have a basic understanding of what a fountain pen is, how it works, and how it's different from other types of pens like ballpoints or roller balls. Now there's a bit of a learning curve at first, but it's been our goal here since 2009 to help you through that very quickly and get you right to the fun part, which is actually writing with the pen. Lucky for you, we have a plethora of resources that can help you to learn, including our Fountain Pen 101 series, which covers all the foundational stuff that you need to feel confident in using your first fountain pen. Step 2, unbox your pen. Now, the majority of new fountain pens come in some form of a box. There is often a sacrificial outer cardboard sleeve or maybe some cardboard that's meant to protect the box from cosmetic issues in transit. Sometimes the outer packaging has some imperfections, and that's okay. That's mostly what it's there for. There might be an inner box that's more for presentation. Not all pens are packaged this way exactly, but often the more expensive the pen, the more elaborate the packaging there will be with different layers and stuff. Now, pens are resting inside these inner boxes, and depending how securely they're seated in there and maybe how rough of a journey that they've had along the way to get to you, it's possible it could come loose inside the box and maybe not be exactly centered or kind of be out of place when you open it. Now, we do our best here to ship things out as safely as we can, but sometimes the presentation gets a little wonky in transit. It's unusual for a pen to actually get damaged inside the box when it's shipping. Usually it's just a presentation thing, but if it does happen, reach out to us and we'll make it right. Now, what comes packaged in the box with your pen is going to vary a lot from pen to pen, but here are some of the most common accessories that you may see included with your pen. Pre-filled disposable ink cartridges, an ink converter that allows you to draw ink from a bottle. We should show in our product descriptions and images on our site if one is included or not. Warranty card or information, and pen use instructions could be included with your pen, usually on some of the more expensive ones. If you bought your pen online from an authorized retailer like us, filling out the warranty information for the pens that have it, it's not entirely necessary since you'll have an email from us confirming your purchase when you order it. And then we'll also have a record of your purchase on your Goulet Pens account. So you can verify your purchase with us if it's needed. Now, there's no harm in filling out a warranty card and sending it direct to the manufacturer. If they have one for you, help expedite any potential warranty claims should you run into that. Even it's pretty rare, but you have that option. The reason these physical warranty cards are in a lot of these is because if you're in a physical brick and mortar store, you may be paying in cash or something like that, or if the pen's a gift, you may not have that record of it. So that's why manufacturers do it that way, but it's kind of superfluous for buying online. Sometimes there could be other accessories in there too, so look everywhere inside that box. Some pen boxes have a tray that the pen rests on, and it has some little treats in there underneath the tray. It's best to hang on to the box and everything in it, all the packaging, for the entire return window, just in case you want to exchange or return your pen. You won't be able to get a full refund unless all the original parts and packaging are returned like new. Step 3, inspect your pen. So before you do anything else, give your pen a nice inspection. I know you're excited to ink it up and start using it, but just take a good 30 or 60 seconds, look it over and just verify that it's what you expected. Check to make sure that you've received what you ordered, that it's the right color, trim, and nib size. And we try our best not to make any mistakes, as do the pen manufacturers, but sometimes things happen. It's best to catch these things before inking up the pen because that keeps things from getting messy, kind of literally and figuratively. Look for any damage or any defects. This is really rare, and I'm truly sorry if you see any of this on a new pen from us. I know that's really discouraging when you buy a new pen, and we want you to have a truly flawless experience. However, all humans involved here, so mistakes can happen. It's always best to catch them ASAP and then let us make it right for you as soon as you know that it happened. Get a feel for your pen in your hand. You know, a lot of times when you're buying online, you're going off of visuals, maybe some descriptions or reviews that others have shared. But this is more than likely going to be the first time you've actually touched this pen in your hand. And we want to make sure that it really feels good to you. Hold it in your hand like you're writing with it, you know? See like the balance, the weight, the feel of the grip. See if you like all that. If the pen's supposed to post with the cap on the back, go ahead and test that out too. You know, make sure it feels good to you and see how you like the feel of it posted as opposed to unposted, because that really does change the weight and the balance of the feel in your hand. Grab some of your favorite paper and try dry writing with the pen on the paper, you know, with no ink in it or water or anything like that. You know, it's going to write a little smoother when it's inked, of course, but even a dry pen shouldn't, you know, be ripping up paper or feel scratchy or anything like that. So this step can just help to make sure that the nib doesn't have some kind of major misalignment or defect like that. And if it does, of course, reach out to us, reach out to our team. We're going to help troubleshoot that. Inspect the body of the pen. So on some like cartridge converter pens, there might be a cartridge kind of hiding up in the back there. It might be kind of hard to see. And if you try installing a cartridge or converter in there, you know, it feels like there's no room. You might actually just be kind of jamming that cartridge up in there. You know, so just take a second. You don't want a cartridge kind of trolling you, making your life harder. So just do a quick visual. Look in the pen, you know, maybe shake it, just to make sure that there's no cartridge kind of hiding up in there and you'll avoid any of that trouble. Now, I do want to emphasize that right here, before you ink up your pen, is going to be the best time to decide if you might want to keep or exchange your pen. If there's any defect or any preferential reason, you know, you might want to change your mind, it's the fastest and easiest to make an exchange or return at this point. And once you ink up the pen, it's kind of a crucible moment for that pen. You know, it's now considered like a used pen, and depending on the circumstance, you might not be able to get the full value on the pen back. So, you know, take this step carefully. It's kind of like if you buy a new pair of shoes, you can like try them on, walk around on the carpet or whatever, but as soon as you walk outside, they're not considered new anymore. It's sort of like that with pens once you ink them up. But the vast majority of the time, let's assume that everything's going good so far, then you're ready for the next step. Step 4, clean and fill your pen. So this is going to serve two purposes. Cleaning your pen is going to be a great way to familiarize yourself with the pen's filling mechanism before actually loading it up with ink. You can use the converter or the internal piston filler to draw and eject clean water. Just make sure you know how it works and that everything is working as expected. Now, if you have a bulb syringe, this is the best cleaning tool for a fountain pen. And while it's not totally necessary, it's going to be your best friend when it comes time to clean out your pen down the road, assuming it's a cartridge converter pen that can use it. Most manufacturers are cleaning out their pens after they manufacture them to get all the manufacturing dust and oils and stuff like that out of there, but it's honestly not a bad idea for you to do it again too, just in case there's anything kind of left over in there. You can also add a little bit of dish soap to that water if you're flushing it through. You know, just make sure that the final step before you ink it up is flushing it with plain water. After cleaning it, blot your nib and your feed to get as much of that water out of the feed as possible. Otherwise, when you ink it up, it might get a little diluted with that water. It's not the end of the world, but blotting it's an easy step anytime that you are going to be inking up or cleaning out your pen. And now that you're familiar with how to fill your pen with water, you should be ready to fill it with ink. It's the same process. So if you're using a cartridge or a converter, all you're going to need to do is pop that cartridge on to the back of the grip section where the pen opening is. The ink in the cartridge, it's going to take a minute or two to travel down the nib all the way to the tip on a brand new pen. Capillary action is going to get it there, but if you're like me and you just want to get writing ASAP, on most cartridges you can squeeze them and kind of force some ink down there just to get things rolling along. If your feed is still wet from your cleaning, your ink may look a little bit watered down for a little while at first, but the ink is going to darken up as you write after the first page or two of writing, so that's not unusual. Just give it a little time. Now, if you're using a cartridge converter, or have something like an internal filling mechanism, like a piston or vacuum filler, you're going to need to draw the ink up into the pen from a bottle of ink while the nib is submerged fully in the ink. Now, I have more detailed instructions on this process in Fountain Pen 101, so I encourage you to check that out. Using an absorbent cloth like a paper towel, blot any excess ink from the nib and the feed and maybe on the grip. Cap your bottle if you have one, reassemble your pen if needed, and you are ready to write. Step 5. Start writing. So after you got your pen all fully assembled and inked up, you are ready to enjoy your new writing adventure. Now, your pen may write a little wetter or a little drier at first after you've filled it up. But after writing for a page or two, it's going to settle into its regular flow. You don't have to press down on the nib or anything like that to get the ink to flow. That's the beauty of fountain pens. It just flows naturally out of the pen once it gets going. And you just have a light touch of the nib on the page. Once you get used to this way of writing, you may never want to go back because it's pretty awesome. And now that you're writing with your fountain pen, there's just a few more tips that I have for you before we wrap up here. You know, Goulet Pen's mission is to provide fountain pen enthusiasts with the most personal online shopping experience through comprehensive education, exemplary service, and products that we believe in. So when you're wanting to learn about pens, get help with them, or maybe find products related to fountain pens, we want to provide everything that you need. So you can visit gouletpens.com for a bunch of fun fountain pen goodies and education. You can reach out to our customer care team if you have any questions, issues, like not just stuff with your account or your order, but I mean, literally our team here, we all love pens and we love using them. So we can troubleshoot stuff, we can give you advice on things that you might like. And if we don't know, because we don't know everything, if we don't know your answer to your question, we'll try to find it too. Like, we're a pretty helpful bunch, and that's like what we're here for. And of course, if you're watching this video, you're probably seeing it on our YouTube channel, and we are on other social platforms as well. For a lot of pen-centric videos, we produce a ton of content for over 15 years now. You know, talk to other people that you know or that you see using fountain pens. There's kind of like a special bond that we fountain pen people have, because it's a pretty self-selecting hobby, and it's a wonderful hobby. There's a lot of depth to it. And I found that fountain pen people as a whole are just very generous with their knowledge. They're eager to share their passion, you know, for pens with pretty much anybody who's willing to listen. And I'm really glad that you can be a part of that now too. You can enjoy a lifetime of learning about fountain pens and fine writing, and you learn to appreciate it more and more every single day you use them. I want to thank you for watching this video. Welcome you for getting started with your new fountain pen. We're here for you if you need any help, and right on.